Coming up, latest Afrobarometer report reveals that 80% of Ghanaians believe this government has performed badly in the management of the country in terms of unemployment, roads, health, and education, and they remain the top 4 issues facing the country.
And then when it gets to whether the country is heading in the wrong direction, the majority of Ghanaians think that the country is heading in the wrong direction.
Stay with us as we tell you more on what Ghanaians are saying about the free senior high school policy and the e-levy. Also coming up, former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Inusaf Hussaini, jumps to the defense of the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, over the AG's accusation of illegally procuring legal services, arguing it was in the best interest of the Speaker. Meanwhile, Parliament is expected to reconvene on November 7. We'll hear from our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent. And also coming up, 9 new cases of cholera recorded in 4 new districts in the Greater Accra region as the Ghana Health Service steps up efforts to fight the latest outbreak.
Cholera is not a disease that can be restricted. So we should be careful what we are eating and what we are drinking. And we should also make sure that we are washing our hands well before eating and drinking.
And also coming up later, teachers of Apraman Basic School abandoned classes to protest against residents using their classrooms to attend nature school.
If the speaker wants to have a lawyer, the speaker must procure the lawyer lawfully. And then, as I said, they are changing right. Even when he's seeking a sense of a lawyer to represent the government in cases outside the country, in foreign.
We apologize for that, but we have these and many more in the next 30 minutes. Stay with us.
Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, MyStar Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM. Starr News. Informed, in depth, in touch.
You're welcome once again to Starr Midday News. I am Serwaa Amihere. Former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Inusaf Hussaini, has jumped to the defense of the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, over the AG's accusation of illegal procurement of legal services. He argues that the Speaker did so in his best interest. His argument comes after the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, accused the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, of violating procurement laws by hiring Thaddeus Sori as a lawyer for the parliamentary service without the necessary approvals. He deemed the Speaker's actions to be unlawful. Here is the Attorney General addressing the media after court proceedings. Take a listen.
If the speaker wants to have a lawyer, the speaker must procure the lawyer lawfully. And then, as I said, they are changing right. Even when he's seeking a sense of a lawyer to represent the government in cases outside the country, in foreign courts, it goes to PPA approval all the time. Even the Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice, Edi Yeboah, who was, with all respect, using the services of Thaddeus Sori, had to go to PPA approval. And I know for a fact that he has not received any PPA approval. And so he's in flagrant violation of the provincial law. And that is what the case, as I said, in the constitutional case, there's nothing like a personal interest.
We're joined on the phone by Inusaf Hussaini, who is former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central. Thank you very much for joining us, Honourable. Now, you say that the Speaker did what he did in his best interest. Are you by this saying that a state prosecutor wouldn't have defended him enough?
I don't think so. The perception had already been created that the Attorney General's office is wholly aligned to the writ of summons filed at the Supreme Court by Afenyomarkin. And so the position of the Attorney General on the release being sought in Parliament is similar to that of the Afenyomarkin. And so this writ is attacking the decision of the Speaker. So if the Attorney General has already taken a position and filed a statement in court, in which he aligns and agrees with Afenyomarkin, I don't see how he can represent the Speaker and ensure that justice it's not always seen to be done, but manifestly seen to be done.
But what about the accusations of procurement breaches?
Yeah, there are accusations. I mean, I concede that if a state institution wants to procure the services of any individual to represent it, either in business or for the delivery of services, you ought to get clearance from the PPA. But the extraordinary circumstances of this case should make it possible for the PPA to see reason in ensuring that the Parliament's interest is well represented, and this matter is disposed of on the merits, and not create a perception that the two institutions of state are ganged up against the Parliament.
Mr. Hussaini, are you surprised that the AG brought this up in court?
I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised. I mean, what would the AG have done? I mean, they were looking for ways to torpedo the decision of Babwin in court. The AG is an appointee of the government. You know the reason why we established the office of the special prosecutor. Apply that reason to what is happening now. That look, an AG will always be partisan, and particularly an AG who is a minister of state will always be partisan. And this matter is being contested on partisan grounds.
Thank you very much. Inusaf Hussaini is former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central Constituency. Let's still stay in Parliament because the House is expected to reconvene on November 7. The Speaker, Alban Bagbin, adjourned sittings indefinitely following controversy over the 4 vacant seat saga. Our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, who also happens to be the Organizing Secretary of the Parliamentary Press Corps, joins me in the studio. Ibrahim, thank you very much for joining us. What does this mean for the MPP side? Would you say that the recall of Parliament is as a result of the triggering of Article 112?
Speaker did not recall Parliament in his own volition. It is not
But Ivy, earlier this morning when we spoke, you said that the Speaker was leaving town with majority and the minority caucus and the majority caucus. And now that they're coming back on the 7th, I don't know what from your observations of what happens in the House, do you expect the NDC to go back to their side on the minority side?
well, if
So now that, finally, now that this is going to happen, I don't know if there's going to be another, for the want of a better word, chaos. I'm hoping that there isn't, that the NDC is going to insist that they haven't heard anything from the Speaker, so they're going to be on the majority side. And then what's going to happen to the NPP?
Well, so the NPP can decide to occupy whichever seats that are available, be it on the left or on the right. The Speaker has actually made a pronouncement on this. He says as to where the caucuses sit, it's not his arrangement. That is for the clerk of parliament to decide. And so what Speaker knows and what the Speaker can do is which side is minority, which side is majority, regardless of where they are seated. If Speaker still holds the MPP as the majority caucus, even if they are seated on his left, he will still refer to them as a majority caucus, regardless. So, per the seating arrangement or how the House sits, is left in the hands of the clerk of parliament, per what the Speaker told us the last time.
All right. Thank you very much. Ibrahim Al-Hassan is our parliamentary correspondent and also the organizing secretary for the Parliamentary Press Corps. Let's move on. A latest Afrobarometer survey has revealed that 80% of Ghanaians believe that the government has performed badly in the management of the economy. The survey, in its 10th round, also discloses that unemployment remained the topmost concern for citizens, with 41%, followed by roads and infrastructure, health, and finally, economy. My colleague Adam Kojo is with the research desk here at the EIB network and joins me and walks us through some of the highlights of the survey. Adam, what more is captured in the survey?
Okay, so Serwaa Afrobarometer survey is actually ongoing for almost 20 years. Almost every 2 years, they bring something that gives us what people think. Right. Last 2 weeks, there was one that came out on the trust in some key institution, but this one has to do a lot with the policy and economic conditions of Ghanaians. So, first of all, we'll start off with what people, or where it ended, which is the most important problems for Ghanaians. Unemployment is key, 41%, infrastructure and roads, 38%, health, 33%, education, 28%, and management of the economy, 25%, making up the top 5. But then what you realize from the trend, and I said it because I told you it's been going on for a very long time, that what you realize is that between 2008 and 2024, unemployment has still remained a very important issue when it comes to concerns or the most important by people.
Between 2008
and then now. So 2008, the priority, unemployment's priority, as in first priority, was 25%. Now, to 2024, unemployment is still high at 20%, being the first priority policy by people. So that shows what is happening in there. Now, I'm going to move also to the next one that has to do with a survey, that part of the survey, but a focus on government's main policies. So there's free SHS, which government has spoken about a lot. There's planting for food and job. There's one district, one factory. There's one village, one dam. And then we can rope in the e-levy, for example. So with free SHS, 85% of Ghanaians say, irrespective of whoever comes into government, you have to continue that policy. With just 13% saying it must go. Planting for food and job, 81% say it must be continued. One district, one factory, 71% of Ghanaians say they want it to continue. One village, one dam, 60% of Ghanaians say they want it to continue. But with e-levy, 79% say it must go.
Are the dams there?
No, so I think it's the policy decision.
Right.
What that could mean is that people agree that it's a policy that must be done, and so whatever stage it has got to, it has to be continued.
Okay.
Yeah. But with e-levy, 79% say it must go.
So there are some 13%.
There are
21%.
And so there are a few who are maybe, but 70% say okay, you can keep the e-levy. But if close 80% say e-levy must go, it probably is not surprising why both parties have been speaking a lot about cancelling it come January. So that is one part. I'll jump to some other very important part where it has to talk about the poverty levels lived by individuals. And this is a very interesting one because 18% of Ghanaians say they've had no lived poverty levels in the past 1 year. However, 72% say that for the past 1 year, they have had to have some poverty level. And poverty here could mean they've probably not had enough to eat, they've not had enough water, they've not had medication when they needed it, among others. And then there's a trend analysis that I want to go to, which is very important.
Okay.
Now, between 2008 and 2024, it's been characterized into two parts. No or low lived. So either you've not lived in poverty or your poverty level has been very low, or you've had a moderate level and a high level of poverty. So there are two brackets. So let's say you've lived in poverty, you've not lived in poverty. In 2008, 78% of people say, at least for that past 1 year, they had not experienced any form of poverty level. So it wasn't a difficult problem for them. But in 2024, we have the number has reduced to 55%. While on the reverse, those who say they have lived some high level of poverty has jumped from 22% to 45%. So what this is telling us is that in the last last 10 to 15 years, poverty levels generally in the country has worsened, because now more people are experiencing some level of poverty as opposed to back then. Now I'm going to end this by going to the final part, which has to do with a question on the assessment of government on certain economic indicators. So on managing the economy, only 19% say that the economy has been managed well. On creating jobs, only 18% say it has been done well. On improving the living standards of the poor, 17%. On narrowing income gaps, 11%. And on keeping prices stable, that is in tackling inflation, only 8% say the government has done a good job in that regard. So, Serwaa, these are the figures that are coming from the latest Afro Barometer report, and these are what Ghanaians are saying about the economic performance and other indicators by this government.
Thank you very much. Edem Kojo is my colleague with the research desk. Moving on, 9 cases of cholera have been recorded in 3 new districts in the Greater Accra region, while the Central region has 2 suspected cases. The 4 new districts are Korle Klottey with 4 cases. Ga South and Ashaiman have 2 cases each. Speaking in an exclusive interview with Starr News, the Director of Public Health, Dr. Franklin Esiedu-Bequin, admitted that this brings the number of districts in Accra with recorded cases to 6. Have a listen.
We have reported cholera in some districts. The main district of concern was Adan East, and I'll say Adan West. But Adan West has kind of stabilized. And after that, we have started to see some cases in Korle Klottey, Ga South, and Ashaiman. We have record of 1 case in Pom Katamaso. That was an imported case. So, since that case reported, we haven't got any new case there. So, Ga South has 2. And then Ashaiman has 2. And then Korle Klottey has 4. So those are the new ones. The rest, like, I told you that Pom Katamaso had only 1. And that one is for a long time. So it was an imported case. It came from our neighboring country. So it's not indigenous. So if you want to talk about the active cases, they should be Ga South, Ashaiman, Korle Klottey, and then Adan East. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the Pom one is an imported case. Fatality, as I told you, is still the 2 cases. So there are some reports of some suspected cases in Central. So we confirm and never. That's why we issued an alert about 3 weeks ago that cholera is spreading. You understand? So we need to be careful about what we are eating and what we are drinking. So for now, basically that is the situation. What I can say is that the outbreak seems to be resolving in the earlier districts, but we seem to be getting some new cases in the other districts. So what you can let Ghanaians be aware is that cholera is not a disease that can be restricted. So we should be careful what we are eating and what we are drinking. And we should also make sure that we are washing our hands well before eating and drinking.
And that was the Director of Public Health, Dr. Franklin Esiedu-Bequin. Still on insanitary conditions creating health problems, management of the Apraman Basic School in the Inshaeso constituency have been left frustrated as residents continue to use their classrooms as places of convenience. Teachers and students constantly visit the school to see human excreta in their classrooms and school compound. The teachers have resorted to abandoning the classrooms as part of protest against the disgusting practice. I beg your pardon. My colleague with the Busia FM, Kwejo Wusu, visited the school and has the report.
The Apraman Basic School, meant for teaching and learning, has lost its sanity to residents who have resorted to using their classrooms as toilet facilities. Headmaster of the school, Emmanuel Amuako, says all efforts, including an offer for the residents to use the school's toilet facilities at a small fee, have failed, leaving school authorities helpless.
The town folks come to the school classroom and ease themselves in the classroom. So the teachers are wild and they are saying they can't go and sit in that classroom and teach the children. So today classes didn't come on. So unless we finish cleaning the classroom, we can't go there and teach. We have allowed the public to come there and pay some 1 Ghana cedi to take toilet roll and go to the facility, but they don't prefer going to that place rather than going to classroom. So I learned it deliberately.
Students who have to clean this eyesore are worried this obscene sight is affecting their academics.
The
grade 4 classroom was littered with toilets when we came to school. We don't like what is happening. If our headmaster closes the school, it will affect us. We are begging them to stop. It's very bad when we come to school to see toilets in our classrooms. We have to clean up the mess every time. We spent today in the dining hall without learning.
The teachers have decided to abandon the classrooms to protest the disgusting practice.
Community be on the social amenities. A toilet is there, so be classroom is for learning.
Classrooms should never be used as toilet facilities. What they are doing will eventually affect their children who attend the school.
Some parents, angered by the situation, have joined calls for residents to stop disgracing the community.
How can we dress up our children to come to school, only to come and clean up toilets all over the school? I want my people to stop this.
The headmaster, Emmanuel Amuako, wants the local authority to support the school with security to ward off the miscreants.
So we are pleading with the stakeholders that they come to our aid with security so that we can calm the menace which is going on the school compound.
Until decisive action is taken against perpetrators, the Pramine Basic School in the Nshaiso constituency will continue to lose valuable contact hours as teachers resolve not to teach until the last fecal matter is cleared from the classrooms. Kojo Owusu's report, read to you.
You're still listening to Star Midday News, and we have an update on the East Legon accident. Bishop Salifu Amako's 16-year-old son, who is alleged to have caused the East Legon car crash leading to the death of 2 girls, we're told has arrived in the juvenile court here in Accra. And my colleague Mutala Inusa joins me live on air to give us an explanation or an update on that. Mutala, thank you very much for joining us. Many will ask, what is he doing there?
Clearly, so we don't know that this incident has led to the death of 2 young ladies. And so as the character or the main character at the center of this whole matter, it is the understanding is that he has been charged potentially for manslaughter. We are yet to have a confirmation of that. But what is clear now is that he is currently here at the juvenile court waiting for that case to be called. Then we'll know the exact charges that the police have preferred against him. But what I can tell you now is that ever since the incident has happened, the mother, the father, and the sales assistant have appeared before the circuit court for charge for permitting an unlicensed person to drive. Today, the main character in the center of this whole matter, he himself is having his turn. And he is appearing at the juvenile court because of his age, because he's 16 years, and 16 years is deemed as a minor. We are hearing that he's being charged for manslaughter, but as I talk to you now, the case is yet to be called for that confirmation to be done. I've had interaction with one of their lawyers, and he tells me that, yes, they do not know clearly what the charge is at the moment, but they're also waiting patiently for the case to be called. So the latest is that the young boy, the 16-year-old boy, we are told, has been at the hospital for some time, has appeared at the juvenile court waiting for his turn. And we will know the exact charge that has been preferred against him.
All right, Mutala, did he come alone?
So he came. My understanding is that My understanding is that he got here in an ambulance, and so it means that he's still right from the hospital and he got here. But we're yet to have a confirmation of that part. But what is clear is that he has arrived here, and I have not seen I've not seen the mother, the father, because I do know their faces here at this particular point. At this particular point that I'm talking to you, maybe by the time that the case will go, we'll see some. But the point is that he has arrived here at the juvenile court.
Thank you very much. Mutala Inusa is our court correspondent. Stay with us on Starr FM, on GH1 television. We definitely will bring you updates as and when we have it. It's time for some sports news, and Jones is with me. Jones, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And there is news from Manchester United, because Manchester United are pleased to confirm the appointment of Ruben Amihere as head coach of the men's first team, subject to work approval on business. So the statement says he will continue until June 2027 with an option of a further year once he has fulfilled his obligations in his current club. And he's supposed to join Manchester United on November 11 on Monday, and we understand that Ruud van Nistelrooy will continue to take care of the team until Ruben arrives. Now, let's move to the Ghana Football Association, because Deputy Communications Director at the Ghana Football Association, Sheikh Tawfiq Abdul Kadir, has heaped praises on coach of the Black Satellites, Desmond Ofer, despite him failing to win the ultimate at the just ended WAFU B tournament in Togo. Sheikh, who was speaking on the game on GH1 TV, says Desmond is an asset the association is proud of.
The Ghana Football Association, the head coach of the U20, and his job is to, build a very good U20 side and win trophies for Ghana when the opportunities come. So for us, we are extremely happy and we are proud of Desmond for what he's done. He did it in the African Games, winning gold, and he's now won silver at the WAFU Championship. I think Desmond has done extremely very well. Let us not forget that Desmond is the head of coaching education here in Ghana, and so he's not only the head coach of the U20. He also plays a role in, helping build, a variety or a number of coaches who are also coming up the ranks. So yes, Desmond is an indispensable asset for the Ghana Football Association.
Okay, so that should do it for sports. My name is Jones Aji. Back to you, Serwaa.
Thank you very much, Jones. And before we go, the Chief Justice Gertrude Saki Tokuno has expressed Judicial Services' commitment to continuously uphold transparency, fairness, and rule of law to help protect the country's democracy. According to the Chief Justice, every citizen has the duty to protect the country's democracy and also ensure that the democratic foundation continue to blossom. Justice Tokuno made this call while launching a revised edition of a manual that serves as a guide on the adjudication of electoral disputes ahead of the December polls.
The manual on election adjudication in Ghana is produced by the Judicial Service and had been launched in every electoral year since 2008. The revised edition, which is the fifth, is unique as it comprises 3 volumes, with each volume dealing with a specific area relating to election adjudication. Chief Justice Saki Tokuno, while performing the launch, said, "Elections are at the heart of democracy, and therefore the manual was a testament to the Judicial Service commitment to uphold transparency, fairness, and the rule of law to help protect the country's democracy."
Ghana's democracy, like all others, hinges on the consent of the governed. For a republic to thrive and endure, therefore, it is important that the nation believes in essential fairness of the electoral process and institutions of democracy.
And that's how we end this edition of Starr Midday News. We'll bring you the full report later. But for more news, visit www.starfm.com.gh. I am Serwaa Amihere. Have a good afternoon.